Once upon a time in the heart of Tel Aviv, a city that never slept, lived a young Israeli boy named Eli. He was 12 years old, full of curiosity and a thirst for adventure. The streets of Tel Aviv were his playground, and he knew them like the back of his hand. But beneath his bright eyes and ready smile, Eli harbored a secret, a burning desire for revenge that had festered for years. Eli's family had lived in Tel Aviv for generations, and like many Israeli families, they had been deeply affected by the complex and often painful history of the region. His grandfather had been a survivor of the Holocaust, and his father had fought in the Yom Kippur War. The weight of their past was carried with pride and pain. The source of Eli's desire for revenge was rooted in a traumatic incident that had occurred when he was just 5 years old. He and his father, Yosef, had been visiting a marketplace when a bomb exploded. Miraculously, they survived. But the incident left Yosef severely injured and took the lives of several innocent bystanders. That day, the world that Eli had known was shattered, and a deep-seated anger was ignited within him. Over the years, he had come to realize that the path of revenge wasn't one he could embark on alone. He needed guidance, wisdom, and most importantly, he needed to understand the consequences of his actions. As he grew older, Eli began seeking out answers. He spent countless hours at the local library, poring over books on history, conflict, and the struggles of his people. One evening, as he was reading about reconciliation and the power of forgiveness, Eli had an idea. He decided to approach his grandfather, who had seen the horrors of World War II, for advice. Eli listened as his grandfather shared his own stories of pain and loss, along with the lessons he had learned about the futility of hatred. Eli realized that revenge was a cycle that had trapped generations, and he didn't want to be part of it anymore. With newfound determination, Eli sought out opportunities to bridge the gap between Israelis and Palestinians. He joined a local youth program aimed at fostering understanding and cooperation between the two communities. At first, he faced resistance and hostility from some who couldn't see past their own pain, but he persevered. Through the program, Eli met a Palestinian boy named Omar, whose family had experienced their own share of suffering. Omar's father had been imprisoned, and his mother had been injured in a protest. At first, Eli and Omar were hesitant around each other, their past grievances casting long shadows. But gradually they began to talk, to share their stories, and to realize the similarities in their experiences. Eli and Omar, with their newfound friendship, became agents of change. They organized events that brought Israeli and Palestinian children together to play, learn, and understand each other's cultures. They painted murals on the walls of their neighborhood that depicted scenes of unity and peace. However, their work was not without challenges. Some members of their respective communities were skeptical and even hostile to their efforts. Eli and Omar had to navigate through the complexities of their society, facing criticism from friends and family who couldn't comprehend their determination to bridge the divide. One day, as tensions flared in their city, Eli and Omar found themselves in the midst of a protest. It was a tense and dangerous situation. Riot police and tear gas filled the streets, and violence seemed imminent. Eli looked at Omar, his eyes filled with uncertainty and fear, but also determination. They decided to step forward, holding hands and facing the crowd, urging for calm and peace. Their act of bravery caught the attention of the media, and their story spread far and wide. As their message of unity and reconciliation gained momentum, Eli and Omar continued to organize events and initiatives that brought Israeli and Palestinian communities together. They traveled to schools and universities, sharing their stories and advocating for dialogue and understanding. Their efforts began to have a profound impact. The two friends witnessed children from different backgrounds playing together without prejudice. They saw adults engage in conversations that aimed at healing old wounds, and slowly, attitudes began to shift. Eli, who had once harbored a desire for revenge, had found a path to healing, not just for himself, but for his community and his people. He realized that revenge was a never-ending cycle of pain, and that it was only through empathy, forgiveness, and understanding that true peace could be achieved. Eli's journey from a young boy consumed by anger to a powerful force for reconciliation served as an inspiring example for those around him. His story demonstrated that even in a place marred by conflict and hatred, the actions of a single individual could plant the seeds of change and hope. In the end, the revenge that Eli sought was not one of violence, but one of transformation, a transformation that extended beyond himself to his community and beyond.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.